It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast. With Steve.
You rolling up the window is pointless because if the water had gone in the window, it would have just fallen out of the hole in the floor.
Have rolled. You have a built-in gutter system. Has it occurred to you that this thing is just a piece of
It's offensive on many levels. Shows that I am ignorant. Have been for the last couple of years. It's offensive because it is.
And listen, it's okay.
And Kyle.
Speaking of,
Huh?
before we get to, and I have a question about your driveway situation. I don't want to get too far removed from that.
All right.
There was an update to the driveway, and if that's not a reason to stay tuned,
To stick around.
I don't know what is.
Now, here they are, two guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
Here we are. Back once again. Still waiting.
It always
Still
feels
just waiting.
It always feels a little bit weird. This happens around the solstice, where we have our year in review episode every year, where you kind of know this is the last one for. I mean, it's not like it's long.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
It's
maybe.
2 weeks. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Maybe before, if I want to meet the new idiot coming into the house.
Shots fired.
I mean, you know that thing's a ball of goo for a couple of years.
Not
right?
smart. Not smart
Just
at all.
dumber than we talked about this a lot. Dumber than a box of rocks. All those kids, just real idiots.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know anything.
No, they really don't.
Zero survival instincts.
But it's always a weird feeling sitting here knowing, all right, next time we come back,
This is going to be it.
and especially for you, you are going to be a family of 6.
4 humans, 2 canines.
6.5, if you want to count the seasonal stay of the cat.
Yeah, we did kind of pawn her off on the in-laws.
Yeah, and you know what? That cat doesn't care, and that's the key about cats.
They don't care.
They don't care who's taking care of them.
No, not a care in the world.
The main thing they're waiting for, and I talked about this with a coworker, is they're waiting for you to die so they can eat you.
Yeah.
That's what every cat's waiting for.
We've seen the stories 1,000 times.
Listen, the only thing more deadly than owning a monkey is owning a cat.
Owning a cat.
No question.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed.
I think you're just as ignorant owning a cat as if you own a monkey. Okay, because
That's
the monkey.
that's a bold statement, right
Because
there.
well, here's the thing: the monkey might be more aggressive. The cat's more. Think about how devious the cat is.
Well,
just waiting for you to finally find the 5-galloner and punt it, so they can start slowly nibbling away at your flesh.
Well, that and simply, it's a simple numbers game. Do people have more cats as pets or monkeys as pets? Cats.
Right.
So just sheer numbers alone, they're going to eat more people than monkeys.
No, that's a good point. And I guess if you want to compare that to murder, monkeys murder more people than cats. And before we get internet buffoons telling us, well, you know, a mountain lion is a cat. Yeah, we all know. We're talking about house cats, okay? I really, people...
Boy, how did we get here? We're only 4 minutes in, and we've already time warped.
I think it's fine, though, because now here's what happens. Your former cat, which, again, I'm glad I was proven to be on the right side of history on this. Thank you for agreeing with me, Steve. You got rid of it. I didn't like the cat from day one. I'm glad.
To say that we got rid of it is a bit harsh.
You used the words not even 2 minutes ago. Pawned off.
We simply loaned her out to a family in need for
And what was the need?
emotional support.
Okay. So now your in-laws are emotionally unstable and they need the support.
No, but
they
cat. My mother-in-law was struggling a bit during the middle of the pandemic.
Okay.
She needed some kind of companionship from an animal. She needed something to something to take care of. She was a nurse for many, many years.
Yeah.
And I think that the pandemic hit her especially hard because there was zero interaction between her and any other people. And she loved Abby. So we said, why don't we send Abby up there for a couple of weeks? And it quickly was revealed to us that we were not getting Abby back, no matter how much we wanted her back. But I think everybody is happier in this situation because Abby was waking us up at all hours of the night. And we thought, okay, well, maybe if we send her up there, it'll kind of reset her. And then when we get her back, she'll be a normal cat again. Well, we haven't had to deal with that quite yet.
This is the only comparison I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like giving somebody a cat, which is essentially what happened here,
yeah,
is worse than giving them, wrapped in wrapping paper, a box of human.
Now, normally, I would absolutely agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a wanted gift. In this specific situation,
No, I get it.
this was absolutely wanted.
I am...
Now, giving somebody a cat, like if I just showed up at your house one day and said, here you go, here's a cat, I agree with you. Not a great gift. Yeah. But in this case, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Everybody is happier.
I mean, I don't want to fall into the podcast trope that everybody's doing nowadays, or cats or dogs.
Is that a big thing?
Big thing. I mean, you and I don't like to fall into the generic market there that everybody else is doing, right? You and I like to have unique conversations. Yeah. Something a little different. So we're not going to fall into cats and dogs. Yeah. But I am confident in saying that if you showed up to my house with a box, handed it to Reed, a couple holes punched in it, handed it to Reed, said, here you go, buddy, here's a gift. And it was one of those devil felines.
I mean, could there be a worse thing to do to somebody?
No. And, I mean, you see these videos, it's typically around the holidays. You'll see it in commercials, too. Mm-hmm. For years, people have made fun of those commercials with super wealthy white husband and wife.
Oh, the Lexus.
And wife walks out and there's a $300 bow, because those things aren't affordable. Yeah, who's making those?
They can't be cheap.
Who's making novelty bows? And are they in business from January through October because there's no need to be?
Probably not.
I think the giant novelty bow is the equivalent to a person jumping out of a cake. Equally dumb.
Okay.
That's a good cake you just ruined. Or somebody you've bamboozled into thinking that was a cake that they now can't eat, but hey, they get to talk to someone? Yeah. What a joy. I think the novelty ribbon is the equivalent on a Lexus, is the same as those ads of, I got you a dog.
Yeah.
Because even if wife may have wanted a dog through, been asking for it, or husband wanted a dog, it doesn't matter. Springing a dog on someone, especially on something like Christmas morning. Oh, okay. Yeah. Do we have any materials? Do we have food, bowls, cage, leash? Is he up on shots?
Here's a responsibility.
Yeah. Oh, and it's Christmas. Let me go to the store and get all these belongings.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. So unless the dog is gift 1A and gift 1B is a crate and a bag of dog food that they'll inevitably vomit because dogs are sensitive animals, it's a terrible gift.
Not good. Not good.
Terrible. The only way an animal as a gift is good is surprising your child on a birthday when you have then decided as a family, we're going to bring an animal into our house. We can do it as a surprise. They'll love it.
Surprise
and we're prepared.
Because they don't have any say in anything.
Oh, and they're dumb. They'll never see it coming. You could actually have that dog in your basement for days. They'll never even know it was there.
No idea.
Idiots.
Okay, let me rewind here. What do we got here? We got from that to cats being a bad gift to cats just waiting for you to die so they can eat you.
There's something about monkeys in here.
Monkeys, yeah, there were monkeys. Okay, I think we're close enough.
To put a bow on it, though, I did want to mention.
Not a $300 bow.
Not a 2-month-a-year operational bow. No. I'm kind of glad Annette doesn't listen. I mean, not like I hit it very much. Hated that cat.
Abby was a sweet cat.
Again,
I mean, she still is. She's still alive. Not dead.
Well, you think. You're as involved in her.
Look, we FaceTimed earlier, and we saw Abby in the background.
I would argue that your relationship with Ray is the same as your relationship with that cat.
Okay.
And I would struggle to tell you who that bothers more. Because I don't, again, as we started off this episode saying, that cat doesn't give a damn. That cat has noticed nothing. Yeah. It doesn't care that it's loved. It never has and it never will. Again, it's simply biding its time until one or both of your in-laws, and it can then start going to Chow Town.
On the corpse.
On the corpse.
What is Sunday, June 5th, 2022, the year of our Lord, the Steve and Kyle podcast. We're getting down to it. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. I know I've said this the last couple weeks. We are just days, maybe 1 day, 2 days away from the birth of my son.
That's right.
So we have
Preparations are all done?
Preparations are all done. We hung up a couple pictures in the nursery yesterday because it's being converted from Evelyn's bedroom to now baby boy's bedroom where he's going to sleep. And
baby boy.
Joked with some friends last night that I was going to name him Gordon Lightfoot McKiernan. And they have a son on the way too, due 6 months after our son is born. And they said, well, that's very ironic because we were planning on naming our child Edmund Fitzgerald. And I was like, well, this is perfect.
Yeah, that one's a little too morbid though. I mean, in general, naming someone after the demise of that many people.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I told you this, and this is another quick interjection. I was actually talking with UP Chris, a friend of the show, one of my best friends, recently about the Edmund Fitzgerald, as you do with Upers. Because after a while, what else can I talk to him about? How they climbing trees barefoot, wrestling turkeys. What else can I talk about with a Uper? Yeah. How was, the vast nothingness of humanity?
Okay, so what does he have to say about the greatest maritime disaster?
Well, so he had a fun fact for me, one that I had not considered. And I apologize
the lives or the families of the 29 souls appreciate the term fun fact.
That's right. The relatives look forward to these fun facts. What do you think we could possibly get a descendant on the anniversary to talk to them? I have so many questions. I want to chastise the remaining descendants of that idiot cook.
Because he didn't at least...
He couldn't have cooked the dying people breakfast?
He couldn't have sent them to the bottom of the Superior with a full belly?
That song 2 times references that idiot not wanting to do his own job.
All right, we got to find a descendant of the cook. Bring him on, and then just give him the business.
Yeah, I don't care if it's your kid. Okay? Your dad was a piece of garbage. But anyway, back to the fun fact. The water of Lake Superior is so cold.
Very cold. Very cold.
That...
I believe it's called the Ice Water Mansion.
That's... Heard it. You heard it. Every year you hear that. The bodies don't decompose.
No.
So there are videos of shipwreck excursions because people love the scuba diving of the sunken ships. Not for me. I understand the fascination that why you'd want to see that, but and he sent me some videos of a guy who does it kind of as a hobby, and there's body floating around. So somewhere down there is the body of that idiot chef,
the cook,
with a spatula in hand. Other hand on his belly, no doubt, as he probably cooked for himself.
Well, no, he was probably laying in bed. He just didn't want to get up and cook.
Chef's hat.
Spatula. Laying in bed.
Hand on the belly. I thought that was fascinating.
Fellas, it's been good to know you.
Yeah, that's right. Just constantly. To nobody in particular.
Little speech bubble.
That's right.
Coming out of his mouth.
Too choppy. Can't cook. Second day in a row. Yeah, warm up some beans. But I thought that was interesting. I don't have that morbid curiosity has never struck me that if you're one of those relatives, though, wouldn't you want to bury that person if it's an intact body?
If they could get him,
it's a couple 100 feet down. I mean, I know Superior is deep, but it's not. We've seen the Titanic.
Yeah,
we could make it, and this is fresh water. I think we could probably get those. Is it a weird
Do you just
boater thing that like, well, we're going to leave them where that's where they rest.
Down with the ship.
I don't know, man. If I die on a ship, bring me up, put me on a cemetery.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to come back.
I don't want,
Although I don't want to go in a cemetery.
No,
I think
you want to be
I think
dust.
I want to be cremated. Yeah.
I don't want some pike nibbling on my toes.
I want to be
in fresh water.
I want to be Infinity Ward. Get the reference? Just
I'm excited for this review coming up in a very short amount of time. Your thoughts on, in my mind, the best Marvel movie of all of them.
There's a lot happening in that.
There's way too much. You know what, though? I am very confident you're going to get it done in under 60 seconds.
Oh, God, yeah. I've been, look.
You've been closing the gap.
19 movies in. I think that this might be my most concise review to date.
What I would appreciate, because I'm not doing the work, is if one of our diligent listeners and fans would go back and time each one.
Oh, it's simple.
And then I'll put it on
the YouTube playlist. Go to the YouTube playlist because I cut them off. I start them right at the beginning, and I cut them off right as I finish my review.
I would appreciate it, and then I'll make a little line chart for them all, and I can see if you've been getting better or worse, how it's been going, because I think we're on.
I think
we're on the right path here.
Not a problem.
I wanted to talk about, Steve, you and I spent a little extra time, the families did last week, and we've mentioned this before, that you and I, every now and again, we have a bit of run from the creative juices. And that happened again.
Did it? What did we...
And you and I now, 2 times in the next year, have some pretty solid plans for some special episodes of this very podcast.
Wait, I remember the conversation, but I don't remember the ideas. I'm glad that you do.
Coming up on this very podcast, and maybe live in person.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
In about 5.5 months, Steve and Kyle are going to be trying to broadcast live from a parade.
That's right, the Santa parade.
You and I had the brilliant idea, and it is brilliant. I'm not saying that facetiously. I think this is a really, really good idea. And it will be better if we can make this happen in a 1988 Jeep Comanche.
This was an idea.
We went to the local Memorial Day parade here in town.
We did.
And we brought the little ones. They loved it.
They had a blast.
They were absolutely enamored with all of the vehicles, the candy being thrown their way.
Reed could not have been sweeter to Evelyn because Evelyn is obviously she's a shy kid, very shy kid. So parade atmosphere, there are 1 million people around. She's like, all right, it's going to take me a while to warm up. So as with most parades, there are people walking and throwing out candy, and Evelyn, like every other kid, loves candy, but she was a little apprehensive to go out there and scoop it up by herself. She had her little plastic bag with her. And Reed showed her the way. I think he actually grabbed her hand at one point and helped her pick up candy, put candy in her bag.
Very nice.
She responded by stealing his Frisbee. Because
that's right.
Somebody threw a Frisbee to him. He picked it up. She walked over and said, "That's mine." Took it away from him, put it in her own bag.
Smart
kid.
Smart. I mean, take what you want. Ask later.
I think she realized that, well, this kid's already given me all his stuff anyway.
Yeah. What's he going to do? Complain?
I'm just going to take it. So, apologies for the one less Frisbee in your house.
That's right. Well, boy, I hope we make it. Hope we can get through. While watching this parade, you and I had the idea. We started talking about how do you get in the parade, because there's the standard stuff. There's the
we want to be involved in everything. This is anytime we're at an event.
We want our hands there.
Anytime we're in the surrounding area of any kind of event, we want to get in.
And this just sparked another idea for me, saying that we want to get our hands everywhere. What you've done this job before. Okay, and we will come back to the parade because we have, I would argue, the most concrete plans you and I have had in a long time.
Do we?
We haven't done anything, but we've really talked about it. But what you've done this job before, and I know you don't like it, and nobody likes it. Nobody there likes it. Nobody who does it likes it. It's awful. Do you think there's a chance you could work with the local terrestrial station, one of them in your cluster there? and allow us to be the two jerks who have to go on stage before the main act comes out.
Okay.
And either, not MC, but introduce. Everybody wants the act. The music stops. Everybody's super jazzed that, hey, they're coming out. And then it's you and me.
So we got to come out and kill usually between 3 and 5 minutes.
And, for us, we killed 4.5 on monkeys and cats being murderers. I think you and I come out.
Does that?
We do an abbreviated A bit. And then we're like, Trent and the Yahoos are coming out in a minute.
Oh, I love them.
Good band. And then the 12 people in the crowd don't even bother cheering because they didn't know who we were when we walked out.
Right.
But we got our name out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're now local MCs as well.
Yeah, maybe we fire off some T-shirts, Second Chance Jeeps shirts.
I love but we can't afford a cannon. Can we rent a cannon?
I don't know.
Can we do one of those slingshot things? But then we need a third person.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to have anybody.
I'm not asking anybody. I don't want them to take the shine.
We got to get an intern. Let's get the town drunk.
He'll
come out there with us.
The town drunk would absolutely slingshot with us. Slingshot some Second Chance Jeeps and Steve and Kyle merch into the crowd of 12. All we hear is the silent thud of T-shirts. And then almost like at the almost like the wedding when you see the garter toss. And all the guys kind of step aside and look at it on the ground because marriage is a death sentence.
Old ball and chain.
Except it's our T-shirts.
Thud.
One's so rocketed it knocks a bottle of the well liquor off the back. Do you think there's a chance you could get us to... And I don't want a big show. I don't want it when, Kiss or whoever's coming. Just a local act that's sponsored by the station. That maybe you and I can walk out on stage and say, hey, we know you're all excited for, again, Tanner and the Yahoos or whatever the name was. They're going to be out in a minute. But first, we've got to thank our lovely sponsors and friends. Whoever,
Yeah.
And make sure you tune into the Yuck and Chuck morning show.
Yuck and Chuck?
Yeah,
neither of them could make it?
Well, they split both prior occupied on Friday nights.
Man, I wouldn't have thought that both Yuck and Chuck would be so busy. But hey, good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
they
honestly,
got places to be.
And you and I are happy to step in. Do you can we get that done?
I'm sure we probably could.
I just need you to listen. I don't think you understand or
look.
Think about how much pull you have in this stupid radio game that could let us do some stupid things on a public scale.
If I went to the boss and said to him, "Hey, that show coming up at the local venue?"
Yeah, I don't want the big venue because then it's stressful.
I would say, "Can I do like stage announcements?"
Yeah.
He'd do backflips. He'd be so happy.
Because they just want anybody there.
They just want any warm body.
Yeah.
And I am that warm body.
And knowing how you'd be reading radio ads for so-and-so's coming out.
Look, I'll get a +1.
Mm-hmm.
You come along, and we just kind of do like a little hostile takeover. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm Steve from the Side Gig Show. But also from the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Yeah, you can mention me by name. I think that, listen, you want to up the ante. You say you got not one.
All right.
But both hosts.
Okay, so you want us to MC, and we're also going to broadcast live from a parade?
Yes. So
these are two separate events.
Yeah, and the MC thing was just right now. So we now have 3 really good ideas, which I got to tell you, weeks go by without one on this podcast. So the fact that we have not 1, not 2, but 3 really good ideas is quite shocking. We started thinking about how do you get in a parade and who can be involved, and I'm guessing there's a vetting process.
Well, after being at that parade last week, it's apparent anybody can be in a parade.
When the John Deere, with no signage, no nothing,
just a wagon with a couple
wagon
kids.
With 2 or 3 toddlers-aged children, was going down the road in this parade, that was our ticket to make this happen.
Yeah.
Before that, I may have questioned it, right? Well, it's candidate for whatever county, this and that, and it's fire truck, ambulance, local businesses,
local construction
company. Come see our air duct cleaning machine, yay! But no, I think you and I hopefully by this holiday season, the solstice season, can be in the next local parade. But I don't want to just ride down in the Jeep Comanche. Anybody can do that. Any idiot with a John Deere can do that. I want, almost like an old 1960s movie or 70s with the police cars, you would see the megaphone-style speakers on the top pointing outward.
Yep.
I think we are going to broadcast live and record an episode from the Jeep Comanche while doing running commentary on the patrons of the holiday parade.
Okay, so I want to get now we discussed getting the Comanche wrapped.
Yes. Do we have a car rappist? That's WRAPPIST. We don't need somebody who's going to freestyle rap.
No, I think it's RAPIST.
I'll put it on the poll.
So we just need a car rappist. Now we're going to sit in the back in our lawn chairs.
Yes.
We'll have our microphones. We'll have all the equipment that we need. I'm starting to second guess the idea of the megaphone broadcasting. I'm thinking maybe it would be best if we kept all of our commentary to ourselves and then released it after the fact.
That's fine too. I think that's still good content. So in this situation, though, we now need at least 4 people, though. And that's based on if you and I are sitting in the bed, we'll need someone to drive.
Yeah.
And then we're going to need someone to throw out the Chuck E. C. Juniors.
Yeah, that's true. That's our go-to candy.
And way too many Tootsie Rolls. Big Tootsie is all over the parade gamut, and that is unacceptable.
Okay. Well, we'll have the town drunk will be involved somehow.
Yep. So
I don't know if we should have him driving.
Well, it's early enough in the morning. Maybe he's only got one of those pint or half pints that you buy for like $3.
Yeah, on the airplane.
And that's fine. That's barely buzzed. And buzz driving is fine, I think, based on the signage, right?
Especially in a parade.
I think this can happen.
Okay.
And I'm being serious. I think this is something that can happen. And 2, I think it will. We just need a car rappist, which I'm almost positive.
Honestly,
we know somebody.
I don't think we need it. I think if we were just to get some big, like the big magnets, the big stickers made.
That's fine too. Is there any way we can get, even if it's not like some vinyl, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a full wrap.
Look, this is the easy stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to cost us a couple bucks to get it done.
It's fine.
But that is all totally possible.
That's fine. We need to expand our reach past the 5-block radius to where this parade is held, the 12-block radius.
Yeah, I was going to say 8
of
to 10.
Steve's house.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a good hour-long parade.
Yes. So it's a holiday, which is perfect for our content.
Yeah.
You know, we hit record right before the local marching band's playing, Rudolph. Hopefully we're not close to the marching band because we're going to need these microphones. They need to hear us.
Imagine that.
When the whole podcast is drowned out by constant holiday tunes. We'll put in a special request on the when we put in our application.
Yeah. I could probably pull a few strings and get us the headset microphones. I could borrow a set from...
We absolutely... Otherwise, you and I are going to be holding microphones like idiots. We need headset microphones.
Headset mics.
Even if we have to spend a few bucks and make these happen,
not a problem. No. I can easily borrow them from the side gig. I'm excited about this.
But we need to holiday it up, though, too, by the way.
Oh, boy. The problem is that puts a lot of pressure on Steve and the Second Chance Jeeps crew.
For November?
To get the Manchi. I mean, on the road, no problem. But looking good, it's got to look the part. We don't want to go into this looking like a bunch of idiots.
No. Listen, and we have to lean into the holiday theme. As you and I do here on this podcast every year, we run the Steve and Kyle podcast non-denominational Cloak and Dagger Winter Solstice Gift Exchange. I think we also need to devise a costume for Solstice Sammy?
Seasonal Sammy.
Seasonal Sammy.
Yeah.
In his solstice garb.
I think we've talked about this. Solstice Sammy.
We'll need to go back and figure out what he was dressed. What is it? If I remember, it was turtleneck sweater.
Yeah, but it was like flannel on over top of
flaming cup of coffee or hot chocolate with marshmallows in it.
Uh-huh.
So now we need 5 people, or maybe Seasonal Sammy's the one throwing the Chuck E. Cheese.
I think we're okay. Getting the people is not going to be a problem.
I think
maybe we could recruit our wives to be to hand out the Chuck E. C. Juniors.
I can guarantee you 2 wives who will not be interested, and that's your wife and my wife.
Well, we can get 2 wives.
Hey, does your wife want to hand out Chuck E. C. Juniors to kids?
I know that we have some dedicated listeners out
no
there
question.
that would gladly give up a Saturday morning.
Yep. I have 2 ideas.
To stand in line with us and give out Chuck E. C. Juniors.
I don't know how he can help us, but I think there's a way he can help us here. Maybe some co-marketing. Our friend, Chris Sino and Ryan Young,
yeah,
would be. I'm sure he'd be happy to drive.
He absolutely would.
He could also slap some signage for his local shop that he runs.
American Valor Woodworks.
Woodworking. And
fantastic
awesome
signs
stuff.
And flags.
Veteran-owned by himself. Literally himself. It's, when I say veteran-owned, he does it all himself.
He runs the shop himself. Has made me a bunch of fantastic things.
I think we could incorporate that.
Gladly.
And then I think Seasonal Sammy is our dear friend, the town drunk Rusty.
I mean, when I think of somebody who could represent a drunk mall Santa, I think of our friend Rusty.
Yes.
And I know Rusty, right now Rusty's got a paintbrush in his hand. He's slapping paint on a wall. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Probably slapping paint on a window or some carpets because he's just absolutely hammered. Mm-hmm. But he's shaking his head saying, yep, I'll do it. I'm in. Rusty, send me that text right now.
Since Van Wert, we have not had an idea this good.
I definitely want to talk to somebody who can wrap vehicles. Because I'm serious. I've thought about that completely outside of this idea, too.
Temporarily. It's obviously temporary.
Yeah. Well, I want a full wrap, but I would be happy to add the proper signage that can then be removed at a later time. I think I want to do this. I think that this is something that needs to happen.
I am going
This is the only way. This is the only way for this podcast to grow.
Right. And by staying in a local seasonal parade. Mm-hmm. Now, because this is all manageable, too. If for whatever reason we can't throw together a seasonal Sammy parade or a seasonal Sammy outfit or costume, whatever, we cut them. The main portion here is you and I live recording while the Manchee rolls down the main drag in the small town,
spewing fumes at all those kids who just want a candy bar.
And then maybe I think maybe we throw up a holiday tree in the back end because it's a season.
It'd be beautiful.
It's a holiday parade, Steve.
Mount it to the roof of the cab.
There's many options.
We're going to be in the back.
We're in the back.
We're going to need a little bit of room.
So maybe something right on the roof.
Yeah,
right.
We're going to have to build some kind of broadcast center from the back. I'm going to need some help with this. Are you?
And I don't even know how much help. The mixer is battery operated. As long as we keep it for under 2 hours. Which I believe is the estimated battery life.
Yeah, I think the microphones are powered off of that. That sucks the power.
But we're doing totally different microphones, remember?
But they're still going to be powered off of there.
Oh, well, maybe we can. Maybe we could run them through the Manchee power.
We'll figure it out.
Just like 4 cords running around the side, right to the Manchee battery.
Run an extension cord to the battery,
and it's just taped on.
So then, when the battery dies in the middle of the parade, we gotta get out and push.
No. So we got the town drunk and Chris Silent and Ryan Young. They start slowly, but again, not too fast. So maybe one pushes from the back while the other kind of walks the front and holds it back. Because if it's down a hill, there could be some danger.
That's true.
So
this is a great idea.
This is I honestly think this is going going to happen.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, whether it's this local parade, one at a town over, I don't care. We're going to make this thing happen. This is the best way to spread the word on this podcast. Waiting 6 months to go down a 1 mile road in the town we already live in for a holiday parade.
And we have to wave and point like we know every person there.
Yeah.
Judy, how are you?
While you and I are then bad-mouthing Judy on the podcast that we're recording right there.
I love the idea.
The second idea, parade related, is in 1 year, you and I, at the local parade we were just at last week, I want to set up a folding table, maybe the folding table we used for this very podcast for the better part of 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Many holes drilled in it.
In front of the local school where they run the parade, the road, and you and I can do parade commentary on all of the different, I won't even say floats. There were 0 floats. Again,
there was a float or two.
There was. There was a local theater company or a theater troupe, however you want to call it, that had a big display, looked like a stage.
There was one that I thought was awesome, and it was veterans being towed. There were some World War II veterans.
That's right.
I'm not so much a float as it was a trailer, and they had the seats set up.
Yep.
And then there were a bunch of veterans walking through. I mean, some of them, again, had to be in their mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Because I saw a World War II vet. That was amazing. I thought that was really, really cool. But yeah, so basically the perfect spot for this idiot podcast to broadcast from.
I think both of these ideas are winners. While live commentary of the parade next year is fine, and that will be fun. We could even do it earlier. They have one in a neighboring town on the 4th of July if we wanted to dip our toes in the water and see how it goes.
What about an end of summer one? They have like a Labor Day parade
I don't
where
think
people
so.
walk through with just like the Pipe Fitters Union.
Right, so you and I are,
Is there a podcasters union?
Oh, boy. I mean, who are we laboring against, or who are we negotiating against? Big Podcast?
Big Podcast, BC.
The big podcast
BP.
who is holding BP.
Yeah.
So we're now negotiating against Big Podcast who is doing what to us?
We're going to have to iron out all the details.
I think tier 1 idea is parade cast, where we're going down the parade. A tier 2 idea, still good, fun for us, is setting up shop in front of the parade doing commentary.
I'm looking forward to the parade more, like where we're actually in the parade.
No
more.
question.
Look, I get to show off the Manchi.
Oh, well, if it's done or close to done. I don't. Is Sign Owner Young willing to sit on a bucket and then like Jimmy the paint shim that you're using for a shifter?
Look, I'm confident that the seat will be back in at some point in the near to late future.
Probably the easiest way to drive the Manchi as well, right? 4 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Down one road.
Look, it's very well equipped for that speed.
There's nothing weird about it, like where you had to unhook the tail light to start it last time. Is there anything where if you keep it under 10 miles an hour for longer than 8 minutes, it explodes?
Unaware of that so far, but we will have a fire extinguisher at the ready.
Yeah, coming out for a show.
Can you imagine?
Could be a Manchi on fire.
It just catches on fire and burns to the ground.
We got to grab the equipment, right? Like I know Rusty and Chris are nice guys and everything. We got to get the equipment first, and then the Christmas tree, because you can't have a Christmas without Evelyn. With Evelyn not having the tree.
So essentially, we're going to be broadcasting while we're sitting on top of a big tank of gasoline.
Mm-hmm. That we don't know if it's going to explode.
Yeah. We're going to have to put in some miles. Maybe we'll have to do a dry run where we just drive around the neighborhood for an hour at a really slow speed.
So it's been a week of creativity around here.
Yeah.
So now we have 3 things on our docket, and I think it's the perfect time. You literally hours away. I think you can count. You're in double-digit hours until you're going to be a second-time father.
Mm-hmm.
I think now is the time to start making plans to MC a local concert.
Yep.
To live cast from a parade, not at the parade, in the parade.
In the parade. Very key.
And then live commentary from a parade next year.
It can't be hard to figure this stuff out. With the MC thing, I know that I could talk to the boss tomorrow, and he would say, great, can you do it Wednesday?
Yeah, let's just find a show then. You and I need to pick a show that will work. It'll be a weekend evening. And because here's the deal. You and I think we're in the back door at 7 o'clock. You and I are out the front door by 8:30.
Yeah.
And our rider is not easy to work with. We're going to need a green room.
Of course.
With podcasting equipment at the ready so we can do a live episode before we go on stage.
Obvious.
I honestly, and maybe this is ignorance on my part, I don't feel like getting in this parade is going to be that hard.
I don't either.
I could be very, very wrong and very ignorant. Maybe they're going to email us back with some long survey about our worth to the community and why we should be allowed.
Yeah,
there's probably...
But just think, like, what did Guy on Lawnmower say to that?
There may be an entry fee. And I'm okay with that as well. We'll either pay it out of pocket, we'll crowdfund this thing, we're going to get in this parade if that's the only obstacle is a few dollars. We got a few bucks in the coffers. Mm-hmm. We can do this. Maybe we had to add a sixth person to this thing now, where they have, an old water jug and they collect money for the cure.
To register for a spot in the parade, fill out the attached application.
You're in the local town?
I am.
Boy, I was prepared to. I'm filling out the contact us form, which is very generic on the local town.
Unfortunately, this is for the parade that has just passed.
Okay, can you run through? Is there anything that you're seeing while you flip through the application that might be a hindrance?
I'm going to fill out, or I'm going to describe you. Let's see. We have to fill out organization, contact person, title, mailing address, city, state, zip, telephone, cell phone, mandatory email.
This is all fine because these are things that I'm okay with putting our personal numbers down on because they're city things anyway that they either have or could have, and two, it's for, I'm not worried about random people finding this thing.
Okay, so are we an organization, a nonprofit including veteran applicants? Well, I think we qualified for nonprofit because, as we've talked about, we have never made a profit.
And if they want to see the ledgers...
There are none.
I'll show them my bank account, and they'll understand.
Yeah. Individual entry like classic cars, etc.
I think we're
$10.
Okay, I think we're looking at that one.
Okay, so the most it's going to cost us $80.
What's $80?
That is if we're an organization,
which we're not. We don't have an LLC. We're not
nonprofit, including veteran applicants, is $30. Individual entry, like class cars, $10.
I think that's our ticket. Individual entry.
Because this may be. Wait a minute. Next year, 2020. To be a classic car, you have to be 35 years old. The Manchi turns 35 next year.
But we're doing the holiday parade this year.
Okay. I'm looking at Memorial Day for 2023.
Oh, I was...
So if we were going to be...
But I'm assuming the process is similar.
I would assume so.
Maybe we just...
Okay, hold on.
Maybe this is our new thing. Maybe we're just in the parade every year now.
Please circle all that apply and quantify... quantity and size of each. Okay, car, truck, van,
truck,
semi, truck and trailer, or marchers. So we would be truck with marchers. Description of participant. For WCET-TV.
Because the local TV joint.
Oh.
So we're going to need somebody... Now we need 7 people. We're going to need somebody DVRing the... I don't even know if they have a channel on streaming. So we're going to need someone with an over-the-air antenna recording the parade broadcast for the local parade that we now have footage of us as we go through.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it. They're not asking...
That's it.
Can you explain why you need to be in here, why you should be?
No, I mean, it basically a description of what we do.
Because we saw classic cars going through as well.
Yeah.
And providing nothing, just, old couple sitting in their, I think it was like
waiting.
1970s Cutlass, driving through. You and I are providing more than that because we're going to have Chuck E. Cheese. We're going to have a seasonal character. Mm-hmm. We're going to have banners. We're going to have a Christmas tree or a holiday tree. We're going to have...
there is a holiday parade in this town?
Yeah, the town you live in, Hudsonville. It is here.
The same parade route, you think?
No. That was the one we went to was Jenison.
Okay.
We are going to be going to the Hudsonville one. It goes right past the P.O. box you visit, Steve. Every so often. Okay. That main road, up and down that main road. This is... I have no idea how you and I are the first ones to think of this. I'm not a parade man. Okay? I typically don't go, but now that you have children, you almost have to.
Yeah. Especially, you know how cool we're going to be to our kids?
Unbelievable.
If they see me in a parade.
I'm going to feel bad for a while when Katie texts me and says, Reed's wondering where Dada is and why he's not here. And I'm going to feel bad until I look to the side and I can wave at him while I'm insulting the people behind him on a podcast I'm recording. That is the dream.
I love this idea. This is good. This is such a good idea.
All
right. Let's put a bow on this. This is happening.
Yep. 3 items in the next calendar year. 4 if you count the Cure for the Cure, which again had to be postponed from this past week to
TBD.
We have to get to it, Steve.
I know.
Maybe
we can incorporate that into
the parade. No, that's a lot of work. We've collected actual dollars in the name of charity. we're bordering on scam at this point because we've accepted money and done.
Look, it's still sitting.
And listen, to anybody who has donated in the past for the Cure for who sent us a coin to the Cure for the Cure, I promise you, we have not taken your money. It is sitting on top of one of these sound deadening panels. It is here. We are just lazy and we have not planned this stream.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, $221.12.
It's here. And we have received money via check. We'll have to figure that out because I know somebody has sent us checks for the Cure for the Cure. So
we have a list. I have a sheet that documents everything.
The money is secure. We are simply we have not done anything with it. That's all there is to it about the Cure for the Cure. Mm-hmm. It's still in the back of our minds. I still want to do a 6-hour streamathon for charity that we'll have to figure out. But I want to get it done this year, Steve. Do you think we can do that?
You know, we're gonna put our heads together. Think about that.
Sounds like it's on the way.
Are we gonna? Oh, wow, boy! Look how far into this we are. Uh-huh. Do you want to get to the big Kahuna, the big nut?
When we come back in 2 weeks, I want to before we get to the Steve's 1 minute Marvel movie reviews, and I know people are waiting. There is possibly a video.
Possibly.
Of you recording yourself watching the end of Infinity War.
Of course, as always seems to happen, my computer died as I was recording it. So I don't know if it auto-saves or not. So I have no idea.
I feel like 6 times over the last 8 to 10 weeks, the Town Drunk and I have texted outside of you saying that
I get the feeling
this is a deal breaker. That if you don't like this or have an impact with this, and it started, again, way back. Mm-hmm. Movies going back 8 to 10 weeks. They're deal breakers and podcast enders. Mm-hmm. And if you either didn't like them or weren't affected by them, that will end the podcast.
Yeah.
And this is
one of
the them. One of one. So there may be a video coming.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Hopefully we can pull something of Steve watching the end of Avengers Infinity War and post that to our YouTube channel because there's no way Facebook or Twitter will allow a video of that length if it exists. In 2 weeks, though, I need to tell the story of, I'm willing to call it, my greatest triumph.
Oh, is the recent D.I. Kyle? Dick Kyle?
D.I. Nobody calls it that. D.I. Kyle not only made an appearance, Steve, maybe the most flawless appearance in the history of D.I. Kyle.
I can't wait. I've seen a couple pictures. I have so many questions.
Coming up when you have a newborn, we don't have time for that, idiot. I'll ask you the name because I'm assuming we're still getting naming announcement rights here on the podcast.
Yes.
So you're telling me right now, you're willing to hold it from the monkeys,
absolutely,
for this very podcast. And listen, there's no check on this. I don't listen. So if you say it on the radio show, I won't know. I'm still assuming naming announcement rights are exclusive to this podcast. Now, you need to listen to this podcast. You've received announcements of a New Jersey live show that didn't happen.
That's right. That did not happen.
You've received...
in hindsight, it kind of worked out that nobody wanted the...
nobody wanted the fathead.
The fathead for it.
Man, I know we're running out of time. I know we want to do this video or this 1 minute Marvel movie review. What is the next live show, Steve? Is it in 2 weeks? Green Bay, Wisconsin, June 17. We need someone to hold the Kyle Fathead at that live show, whether it's Timmy, whether you're a commuter to Green Bay, Wisconsin for this live show. If you have tickets, you're going to be there. Is it just a morning show or is it a morning and night
Morning
show?
and night. I will not be there for it.
Steve will not be there. But if you're going to be at both or either of those shows and you're willing to hold the Kyle Fathead, your only obligation is to bring it and show it, snap a few pictures with it, and then mail it at your expense. I think it's like $6 to $10 to mail this thing.
Not much.
To the next recipient that we will contact you with. Please,
right? Actually,
message us.
This is the last one
for the year,
last show. So it'll either hold on to it or
mail it back
home.
to us. Whatever you want to do. we are looking for someone for Green Bay, June 17th, either show, morning or night.
We'll post on
preferably
social
both.
with all the details.
Please message us anywhere.
All right, before we move on, we want to welcome our newest partner to the Steve and Kyle podcast with a product that you're going to want to use pretty much every day, Athletic Greens and their product AG1. So if you want better gut health, more energy, and optimized immune system, maybe you hate taking pills or vitamins on a regular basis and you want a supplement that actually tastes great for once, you can see what the hype is all about with Athletic Greens AG1. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy, which is nice. It kind of has a mild tropical taste that you'll actually look forward to drinking on a regular basis.
With just one scoop of AG1, you're going to be absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. It's a special blend of ingredients meant to support your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. Literally all the things. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, Steve. That's it. No GMOs. There's no chemicals, no artificial anything, and it still tastes good. It's going to cost you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health for that price, and it's cheaper than that nasty cold brew coffee habit that you seem to have every single day. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health.
Yeah, and to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/emerging. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/emerging to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
But Steve, without further ado, your official review of the Big Kahuna, the one it's all been building up to.
2018, 2019?
2018's Avengers Infinity War.
Here we go. Man, this is like 4 movies in one. Thanos gets another Infinity Stone, kills Loki. That makes me happy because Loki sucks, but he'll probably come back to life at some point. Thanos wants all of the Infinity Stones so he can basically kill off like half of life in the universe. Doctor Strange finds Tony after Hulk crash lands in his house, and they decide to give old Steve Rogers a ring, but a spaceship shows up first with Thanos and some alien-looking dude on board that doesn't have a nose. Hulk is no help. Tony and Spidey end up on the spaceship. The Guardians rescue Thor. Wanda and Vision get attacked for the stone, but Captain America, Black Widow, and the gang show up to save them. Gamora's got something on Thanos and makes Quill promise to kill her if things go down. Well, things do go down, and just as Quill goes to shoot her, his gun turns into a bubble gun, and Thanos and Gamora disappear. Damn that reality stone! Tony and Spidey save Doctor Strange from an alien dude. Thanos tortures Nebula until Gamora tells him where the Soul Stone is.
You know what? Your excuse for this one, because it's such a big one.
It's a long
and plus,
movie.
That was only the 32nd time. You have 30 more seconds.
Right, yeah. And so I may take an extra couple seconds with this
That's
one.
fine.
Okay?
1:05.
All right, so are we back?
Yep.
We back? Okay. Thor's got a new eyeball thanks to Rocket. Thor, Groot, and Rocket show up on some planet and find Peter Dinklage, who is apparently a huge dwarf. That makes no sense. Wouldn't he just be a regular-sized guy or a small giant? Anyway, the Avengers meet the Guardians and they realize they're all on the same team. Doctor Strange time warps and determines that they can beat if they can beat Thanos or not. Spoiler alert, they're kind of screwed. So the red-faced dude has the Soul Stone now, and Thanos sacrifices Gamora to get it. Really, that's some great parenting there, Thanos. Real good. Meanwhile, Captain America, Black Widow, Bruce, and the rest of the former Avengers head to Wakanda. Good to see Bucky's back to his old self again. Way to go, Bucky. They fight a bunch of cockroach things. Thor decides to hold the iris open. I feel like he could have just done that with some chains or like a ratchet strap or something, but whatever. Hey, it's a movie. This fires the forge, so Dinklage...
It's okay. We said 1:05. You're not even at a minute yet.
So he holds the iris open so that way the forge that Dinklage is using can build a new axe. Groot chops off his own arm to make the axe handle. It works. Thor takes the Rainbow Road to Wakanda thanks to his fancy new axe. Thor, Spidey, Doctor Strange, and the Guardians take Thanos take on Thanos. They almost get his glove off, but then Quill gets all pissed because he finds out that Thanos killed his girlfriend. Back in Wakanda, Vision is still undergoing the longest surgery ever. Tony and Thanos fight. Tony gets stabbed, and just as he's about to be put out of his misery, Doctor Strange offers up the stone in exchange for Tony not dying. Thanos has all but one stone now. Crap. Back in Wakanda, Thanos goes after Vision to get the last stone. Wanda is going to fry his brain to destroy it, so Thanos can't get it, but Thanos turns back time, gets the last stone anyway. I think I got it this time.
This is the 30 seconds.
Yeah. Half of the people in the world start turning into ash and disappearing. Thanos rules the universe, and that was Avengers Infinity War. Whew, boy. There's so much happening in that movie. Did I get it? Did I do? I think I got pretty much all the main points.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. In terms of movie recap, I think you got it, right?
Not much of a review. I still 20 movies in, not sure why these are called movie reviews instead of
right. They're recaps,
movie recaps.
But that's fine. I'm not here to listen to New York Post columnist Steve break down the nuances of Marvel. That's why I'm here.
You want the rundown. Yeah, you want to know when things happen, why they happened.
And I'm here to remind you and give you the nuances about how it impacts the Marvel Universe here and there and everywhere. So I guess my question for you, and it's a bit of a spoil if we do find this video, how were you left when Thanos snaps his fingers?
Yeah.
And then you see, because it's not immediate, it's, 30 seconds, Thanos snaps his fingers and then sucks himself into the black hole or, to escape.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the heroes
people start disappearing.
Yeah.
Were
you left shocked, mouth agape? Were you, didn't care because even though you've watched them, you're still not super invested, right?
I was, strangely enough, not surprised. I kind of there were enough clues that, I thought the fact that they mentioned numerous times that he'd be able to snap his fingers and eliminate half the people in the universe, I thought that was a pretty good indication that it was going to happen.
But I push back on that a little bit, simply because you watch Captain America and Hydra wants to take over the world. You're not assuming it's going to happen, right? You're watching Black Panther and Killmonger is going to become Black Panther. He wants to then turn Wakanda's weapons against everybody. You don't think that's going to happen. It being a superhero movie, at least for me, I'm assuming. I thought before going in, I thought Avengers: Infinity War is going to end before a big battle, because I knew they announced it as a two-parter. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is the setup. Avengers Endgame is the knockdown, right? Where they're gonna. That's where it comes to a head, right? Maybe Thanos has 4 of the stones heading into Infinity War. Maybe gets close to 6 stones.
I was shocked that he got all 6 in the movie. I was definitely shocked that he got all 6. But, once he got 5, I was like, oh, boy. This is trending poorly for our friends here. But when he did get them, as soon as he snapped his fingers, I was like, all right, well, who's gone?
But it was so...
And it was weird watching them. The one that made me a little bit sad.
Here it is.
Was Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
It's definitely Spider-Man because he's just a dumb kid.
That's a meme everywhere, and it's Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
And then collapses in Tony's arms.
Yeah, and then just turns into dust. And then you're just kind of waiting. You're like, all right, is Tony next?
But there's still those moments, because even when he gets all 6 stones, in the theater I remember watching.
Yeah.
He has all the stones. He's got the gauntlet on. There comes Thor. Mm-hmm. Right? He's coming through, and he's got Stormbreaker, and he whips it, and boom, connects right in the chest.
Stormbreaker. I like Stormbreaker. Much easier than Majorjanan.
And you're, the God of Thunder's here!
Yeah.
And then Thanos, with his gauntlet still, you should have gone for the head. Snap.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because the heroes did not win.
Yeah.
The heroes didn't delay the inevitable. They were summarily, at every corner, steamrolled by Thanos and his cronies.
Yeah. I mean, I still rooted for them.
Sure.
Obviously. But again, I don't know why, but I just...
I didn't know we had Foresight Steve on our hands
I was
today.
not surprised.
I
wasn't overly surprised. I'm still confident.
Right.
Well, one, because I know there's like 10 more movies, so obviously something happens.
No, you have no idea.
I would assume that they somehow get some of the time stone back, and then they just rewind time and everyone's alive again. Maybe the reality stone will help them create an alternate reality where that didn't happen. I don't know. My brain is going in a million different directions. But it was, the one that made me kind of go, aw, was Peter Parker. Just
because Tony didn't want him up there. No, granted, it didn't matter. Assuming he was part of the 50%, he was either going to disintegrate at home or disintegrate on this other planet with Tony.
Yeah.
So much for me. I'm thrilled I rewatched this. This is the second time I rewatched, so third time I've seen this. To watch every step of the way, individual superhero selfishness, and seeming selfishness, get in the way of the greater good, right?
Yeah,
and that's going back to Star-Lord not being. They had Thanos, right? The gauntlet's almost off his head. He couldn't stop as soon as he found out Gamora was dead.
Keep himself.
Yep.
Oh, you idiot.
You have Doctor Strange. You can call it selfishness. You can call it a sense of greater good, not sacrificing his stone when Tony told him to destroy it.
Yeah.
Him and Wong, your buddy.
Look, personally, I don't think Wong had nearly a big enough part in this movie.
Wong never has a big enough part.
Definitely missed the boat on that one. They could have made I know that it was a big hit. Could have been even bigger. More Wong. You get Wong in the forefront.
I think we just need a Wong movie.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to request from Marvel. It's inclusiveness.
Yeah.
I think we need to make that happen. But you have Doctor Strange not willing to sacrifice the stone, knowing that it's a threat to the universe. You have Wanda not willing to do what she needed to do in terms of even Vision asking her, just do it.
Yeah.
Before
she tried.
But I'm talking before.
Yeah, she should have done it earlier.
She simply said to him, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's when they started looking into Wakanda and figure out other ways to remove the stone and whatever. The only person who was right from the start when he found out was Tony.
Surprisingly.
And Tony was the one left holding the disintegrating corpse of a kid he had mentored and brought into the superhero life, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I adore this movie, and I think this is the best and my favorite Marvel movie of the entire universe.
Okay. This is a long movie.
But
surprisingly...
I think it was shorter than some of the other Marvel movies you've already watched.
It was a long movie, but surprisingly it didn't feel like that long of a movie.
It's constant, right?
Yeah.
And the way it's balanced, you don't know. 1 minute you're on Wakanda, and then you have the Guardians on. I
had to keep pausing and going back and thinking, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? That's right. All right. Like catching myself up and figuring out who was in Wakanda. Okay, that was all right, cool. Like reading back over my notes.
Yeah. Captain America Civil War is 2 hours, 27 minutes. Longer than this. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, this is just shorter. This is like 2:39, right?
Avengers Infinity War, 2 hours, 29. It's
deceiving, though, because the last 15 minutes of it are credits.
Right, right. And that's what happens with these because there's 1 billion people have to work on these.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, you'll be watching Avengers Endgame. That clocks in at a brisk 181 minutes, 3 hours.
Oh, my God.
And 1 minute.
What is next? What am I watching next?
Coming up this week. Next week.
Whatever. Next in line.
Pretty safe to announce. Well, we already did.
Yeah.
We won't have a Marvel movie review next week because next week will be an episode that's already in the can.
Yeah.
You'll have a new baby. You'll be rocking that idiot to sleep. Within 2 weeks, you will be watching Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, I can't wait.
An Ant-Man sequel. You loved the original Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Now, he was explained as like being on house arrest or something, which is
very odd. That literally every character is in this thing. I can't think
Except
of,
Ant-Man.
and I'm sure I forgot whatever. Going back in the pantheon of the Marvel Universe, I'm sure I've forgotten a few. Mm-hmm. But Ant-Man's the hero that is missing from this.
Yeah, why wasn't he in it?
You get a little dive into that coming up next time you watch one. Ant-Man and the Wasp, also from 2018. A weird spot. You feel like you watch Avengers Infinity War, you see what happens, the snap, half the world is gone, or half the galaxy's gone. And then we're just going to go back to an Ant-Man sequel. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a little timeline shift to make this all work in Ant-Man's world. That's coming up next in 2 weeks. You'll hear that review. But Steve, very important. We get to your official review and ranking of 2018. The Russo brothers directed Avengers Infinity War.
Boy, so much going on in this movie. I felt like it was watching 3 movies at once.
Mm-hmm. It does.
The way that it jumped around. Little hard to keep track of everything, but overall, a very, very strong 14.
To put that in numerical comparison, 3 weeks ago, you ranked Spider-Man Homecoming a solid 9.
Yeah.
This is a very strong 14. Mm-hmm. Okay? I mean, we all know where that ranks.
I really liked it. I really did.
This thing was the game changer of game changers.
It
Steve.
was
movie 18. And movie 19. And they really flipped the script.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great movie.
I adore it.
Great movie.
I adore it. It's going to be weird taking a week off here.
Look, I hope my goal in this is to not completely alienate you and Rusty the Town Drunk. Mm-hmm. I hope I have not done that.
No, listen, you enjoyed the movie. Did you have the shock and awe that I hoped for? No.
Yeah, it's funny because I finished watching it and I was like, I don't really know what... I thought that you were going to be most emotional about Wanda having to, attempt to
don't
kill
care.
off Vision.
I think she's a soft ninny for not being willing to do what needed to be done. And I'm not hiding that very much. I think the attitude towards Star-Lord changes because he couldn't do what needed to be done, which is his was more offensive.
But she
she was already dead.
You knew that it was going to happen, though.
Yeah, she was already dead, and he couldn't. What was he going to do? Hit him with his stupid blaster, which he already knew wasn't going to do anything. Yeah. They just needed 5 more seconds to get the gauntlet off him, and that whole saga changes.
Real character flaw right there. So he holds Thanos holds all the power of the universe.
Yeah,
but all they have to do is take his glove off, and they got it.
Well, as you see at the end, though, the glove is the only thing that can properly harness the power of those stones. Mm-hmm. Because
but if they take it off,
he doesn't have the stones.
Yeah,
which is the key.
Right.
But
it seems like it would be a little more like secure. You know, like a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist or something.
But you saw
you can just take it off.
But doing the snap, you saw at the end, you saw Thanos because he talked in the movie what are you going to do when you do it? They ask him.
Watch the
sunrise. And you see him hobbling, bad arm, limping, sits down. He's a damaged man. The gauntlet ruined. Stone's gone. Mm-hmm. He'd done his job. But that gauntlet, even with him, the Mad Titan, still destroyed him. It's not meant... Those stones... They mention it. Those stones aren't meant for one person or thing. Mm-hmm. The power is too much. Yeah. I think Star-Lord's grievance... My grievance against Star-Lord is the largest of them.
Yeah, you got to put a lot of the blame on him.
Then Wanda.
Yeah, she should have acted faster. Shouldn't have waited to the last possible second.
Did you think they did it, though? Because she destroys the stone.
Right.
But then Thanos literally walks up to her.
Right.
does the little time thing, rewinds
time.
it 30 seconds, and just plucks it from his head, throws his...
Yeah, so I mean, if you, that could have happened no matter what. Even if she had done it 3 days earlier,
right.
He could have just rewound time and taken it.
And then third in line, and I hesitate to even call it a grievance, is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is the only one who knew how they
I'm okay with Doctor Strange because he also... He gave up the stone to save Tony.
Right.
So that, which was a stupid move.
Well,
I mean...
You heard him say, though, earlier, he was looking in the future.
Yeah.
He looked at 14,605,000 outcomes. And how many? There's only one.
Only one.
He knows the way this saga has to end to save humanity.
Yeah.
He did what he had to do, which was give up the stone. Whether he knew he was going to be one of the half that gets disintegrated, who knows? Mm-hmm. So much to unpack. 2 weeks, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 3 weeks, Avengers Endgame, where we officially wrap up the entire Thanos saga. That is where we can put a bow on most everything that has happened in terms of overarching storyline. Because now we're in phase 4 where everything's kind of, whether we're building up to new big bad villains, introducing new people. Avengers Endgame is the total package in terms of wrapping it all up. In 3 weeks, you'll be watching that. Whew. Our apologies to Robert.
Oh, apologies to Robert. We missed you by.
We lost you 9 minutes ago. Again, he's missing all of your reviews.
Yeah.
Seems to be the thing that maybe we need to throw in at the start for him.
I'm not going to let Robert dictate how this podcast is produced.
Well, right. It's so impeccably produced thus far that we couldn't possibly change anything up.
By the way, I finished that movie about 10 minutes before you got
I
here.
knew it, you piece of garbage.
I started it last night. I got a lot further into it than I thought I would. I knew I was going to do it in 2 parts.
Right.
Maybe I had about an hour to finish this morning.
Do we need to schedule 3 parts then for Avengers Endgame in 3 weeks?
Well, I got a couple weeks, so maybe I'll get working on that one early.
You don't do anything during that side gig, do you? Couldn't you just kind of have it on a tablet?
That's true, I could.
You got 16 monkeys floating around there flinging.
I got a bunch of time coming up. Right. Time off coming up.
Yes, you do. And like you said, that idiot will let you watch anything.
Yeah. All right, at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also, if you go to YouTube, you can find all of these Marvel movie reviews. A nice playlist generated there. So if you don't want to watch all of these movies, just watch my 1-minute movie review.
You'll have the entire saga in 1 minute
You'll know
each
exactly
week.
What happens.
So 19 minutes, you can have the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe caught up to movie 19. 19 minutes, because you're doing them in 1 minute or less.
1 quick minute. Okay. Well, it'll be a minute before we record again. So things will be completely different the next time we talk.
Yeah, we're probably going to have a different podcast.
Probably.
It'll be more high-strung.
Mm-hmm.
A little more daddy-o.
Daddy-o. All right.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Again, the baby's name, baby boy.
The baby's name is